Okay, so good evening. We are going to get started with our Parent How to Technology workshop, led by Mr. Kern. So at this time, we'll turn it over to Mr. Kern.
Thank you, Dr. Buddy. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and I will update, like I said with Dr. Buddy, I updated my PowerPoint just to add some more tidbits this afternoon.
Okay.
So I will send it to him, and then I'm sure he will post that. So I'm just going to screen share this, and we'll get started. So again, my name is Mr. Kern. I am the Bills Technology Coordinator at Wade Park this year. So I'm working strictly with 5th through 8th. On the iPads, but I'm also working with technology from K to 8 this year. So I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Hopefully the tips and tricks that we're going to show you will be helpful. And at the end of the presentation, we'll take some questions if you have any questions that we didn't cover. So to start with today's presentation, the first thing I want to cover is how to access your students' virtual schedules. So you can access those by going to the Wade Park website. So I'm going to pop out of my presentation and show you how to access that. If it will let me go. Okay. So I'm going to just go to my web browser and I'm going to find or go into Google and type in CMSD or Cleveland Metropolitan School District. And I'm going to come to the district website. So from the district website for students specifically, we're going to go to the students tab over here that's in green. We're going to click, we're going to hover over it. And we're going to scroll down to Clever. So Clever is going to drive most of what we're doing and most of the apps that students are working with. And then now I'm going to pop back to my presentation and kind of show you what Clever is and kind of going from there. So again, we're going from Clever. So again, just reiterating how to get to that and to get the virtual schedule. So we're going to go to the CMSD website. We're also going to go to Wade Park. So if I go into Wade Park, I'm going to come to the school website, so I can also do that by going into typing Google, typing in Wade Park, and then at Wade Park, I'm going to go on the top tabs here and find reopening Wade Park. I'm going to click on that. It's going to bring me to this page, and on the left-hand side here, there are some helpful tricks and tips to find our schedule for the daily schedules for students. We're going to click on Daily Schedules. And it will take us to this page where all of the teacher schedules are posted. So our leadership team with Dr. Buddy and Ms. Townsend have put all the students or all the teacher schedules posted there for you. So for instance, if I click on 5th grade for Ms. Jordan's, it will open that up to the student schedule. So it shows them a schedule from Monday through Friday, with Wednesday being our independent and iReady project time day. And then if you look here next to the teachers' names, there's the Zoom code. So when we get into Zoom within our presentation here about talking how students will attend school virtually, they would find this Zoom code, take that Zoom code, type it into Zoom, and then they use the school phone number, which is 838-1750 for all of the classes to attend. They will put that in there as the access code, and it will let them in, and then the teacher will accept them into class. So that's just kind of how to get to the schedules, starting there at the beginning point. So again, from my PowerPoint here as well, we're going to move into Clever. So as I said, many of the apps, educational apps that students are using this school year are run through Clever. So Clever can be accessed by going to the district website. So again, I was here earlier. We're going to go to clevelandmetroschools.org. Again, you can type that into Google and find that. Click on the first link. And then for students specifically, we're going to go here to green. We're going to hover over green. And we're going to click on Clever. When you click on Clever, it will take you to this page where it says Cleveland Metro Schools District. Students are going to log in with Clever. So they're going to click on the C icon, and it's going to take them to this page where it wants them to put in their username and password. So I'm going to demonstrate that with students.
And Mr. Kern, are you sharing your screen for the site, or are you going through the PowerPoint first, just for clarity, because someone asked?
How would you like me to do it? Would you like me to do the PowerPoint first and then go through?
However you want to do it. I just know they're going to want to see it, like how to actually click through the site. Yeah.
Sure. So let's go through the PowerPoint first, and then I
Okay.
can walk through the steps of how to go through
Clever. Perfect.
Through those steps. So that'll be actually pretty good because I can go through all the apps that we're going to talk about in Clever, and then we'll take a test drive through those. So like I said, again, going through Clever, you're going to find that on the CMSD website, the district website. Student tab, click on Clever, and then you're going to log in with your Clever, and we'll do that in just a second with your student's username and password. So if your student does not know their username or password, please have them reach out to your child's teacher. They will have the username or password as well as the student's email address, which is their first name dot last name at cmsdk12.org, and we'll get to that in a little bit as well. So one of the apps that we're going to talk about tonight or kind of dive through is Schoology. Again, that's through access through Clever. And many of the subjects or many of the courses within Schoology are the core subjects that your students will be going through. So I'm going to take a dive through those and kind of go through the different areas and kind of understand how Schoology works and where things are located. But again, that's through Clever, and the icon is here with an S within Clever. The next one we're going to go to is only for fifth grade. It would be for fourth through fifth grade. Is SeeSaw. So if you have students in 6, 7, or 8, they're not in SeeSaw. But for SeeSaw, we'll kind of go through that of what things are to find in SeeSaw. Again, it's in Clever as well. Within the Clever as well, at HMH is where our students' textbooks are located. So again, they're within Clever again. The Into Math and the Into Reading textbooks are located in Ed. And many times it prompts the students, again, like I said, to use their email address. So that's first name dot last name at CMSK or CMSDK12.org. So I'll kind of take you on a test drive of that, just see how we can get into the textbooks as well. And then let's go in and we'll dive into those, and then we'll kind of finish up with our NWEA testing. So again, like I said, we're going to access Clever, and I'll back up through these steps again. So we're going to go to the district website. We're going to go to the green tab that says students. We're going to find Clever in the drop-down tab. We're going to click on Clever, and it's going to bring us to this page. Students are going to log in with Clever. And then at this point, they're going to put their username and password. So I'm going to demonstrate that now.
Mr. Kern, are you sharing that screen?
I am. Can you not see it?
No, your PowerPoint's still up.
Okay, let me stop share for a minute. Back up. Can you see it now?
We can see it now. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to back up that step one more time just so everybody's with me. So to get to Clever, you're going to go to the clevelandmetroschools.org website, go to Students tab that's in green, scroll down and go to Clever, and then click on Clever. And from Clever, it'll bring you to this page. You're going to hit Login with Clever at the C icon, and then you're going to put your username and password in. So I'll demonstrate that. And then once I log in, this is the student's page. So this is exactly how a student's page would look. And then here are the apps that are favorited. To favorite an app, you just click on it to make it a heart, and it will favorite. If the icons are not located here at the top or in the middle, they're located here down in core curriculum. So again, here are the apps that we just talked about in the PowerPoint. And now we'll go through Schoology. So to access Schoology, I'm going to click on the S icon, and it's going to bring me, as it loads, to this kind of dashboard here. So it's kind of like a Facebook type, where it kind of posts if people are posting. So again, Tracy Hill from CMSD has posted for everybody in the district here. And then for students to access their classes, they're going to go up to here to courses and click, and it's going to bring them to different icons here within what they're doing. Now, for some reason, it's signed up as me. So let me log out and log in as a student. Okay, good. Okay, so now we're in the student profile as Gary Brown. So as a student, as I typed in. So again, like I said, here's the different posts that teachers have posted. And then for students to find their classes, they're going to click on courses, and here are all the courses. So every course is here that student's enrolled in. So for instance, if we're going to go to fifth grade, or we're going to go to mathematics for fifth grade, we're going to click on that icon. It'll take us right to that teacher's page. So for this page, it kind of breaks down here by materials. All of the teachers have kind of moved their Schoology to look the same to make it easier for parents and students. So all of the folders for the materials for that week are going to be located in folders like this. So for everything, all the materials for the students for this week would be located in this folder. So if I click on that, it takes me to all of the days. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So if I click on Thursday, it would bring you to what the assessments were for today or the students, things that are due. So again, if you see this, it shows what this assignment is. And then below it says due on Thursday, January 14th, which is today, by 11:59. So the teacher posted that it needs to be done by midnight by today for it to be counted. Again, if students can also submit if it's late or behind, and we would encourage them to do that so that they do put it in, regardless if they're getting half credit from the teacher or however they're getting credit, that they do submit that assignment. So if I click on that assignment, it's going to take me there, and this student had already completed this assignment. So it shows that they completed the assignment and I can't do anything any longer. But if a student needed to, all of the information would be here, right here on this page. They could click in and do the assessment, and then they hit submit, and it submits it and sends it right to the teacher. So also there's materials here again, like I said on the side in this tab. There are, if I click back on materials, again, it'll bring all the calendar or all the folders for the week, and all the work that the teacher has assigned. Within this, there are also some other hidden links. So math facts this teacher has put in there. And again, it brings them to a math facts website that the teacher has embedded within the works, within Schoology, so they can access that. And then just to go back to materials, I just click on materials to get out of that. And as I'm going through, there's different things that teachers have posted here. Within updates, they've also posted the updates here, where Ms. Jordan has posted different things throughout. Also, if you notice over here on the at the top, there's a calendar. If I click on a calendar, it gives me the assignments and shows you what things are due, when they were due, and then to access those, you can click on them. So again, if I wanted to access this 7.2 that the student had already submitted, I can click on that and it'll say view item. It'll take me right to that option and I can submit it right there. So this is a great resource because it can keep the students online of what things are due and when things are due. Also, as well as while we're up here, there are some notifications. So the teacher can post notifications in here as well, kind of like a Facebook, where it'd be notified there as well. And then also, Mr. Mark said we can stay late tomorrow. So he's posted a direct message to the student here as well. So make sure that students are also finding fit or going with these notifications, because it might be something specific to that student. Maybe the teacher wants them to resubmit assignment or clarify something. They could, that's another way of them communicating to the student. So again, if I wanted to go into another course, I can just go back up to your other courses. We'll go back into math. And then from here, there's, again, like I said, updates. If you want to find your students' grades, you can click on this. I'm not going to click on that because I have all access for all students. So I don't want to show other students' grades at the current time. But if your student has, or you're interested in the student's grades at the current time, you can click on that and it would show what assignments they have submitted. And then as well, there are some other options for some of the resources that the teacher might be using and have embedded here on the side for Schoology. So there's a lot of great resources as well in here. Also, I know like for Ms. Limper for reading intervention, she's posted here. Media, Ms. Conrad, who's also on the call today, has posted in hers as well. Second. Oh, sorry, groups. And then as well as in groups. So the student has my wife, who's Mrs. Kern, the speech pathologist at Wade Park. So also groups. So if they are put in a group, so like for instance, Mr. Gaughan has put in for Wade Park Elementary chorus and drums. He has a group for those students as well. So if your students in any of those as well, find those groups as well. So courses and groups are the two areas. And then within there, you can kind of go through and look at the resources and the assignments that are due. So that's Schoology. So I'm going to click off that. We're going to go back into Clever. To keep us online, the next one is SeeSaw. So again, within the Clever, we find SeeSaw. So SeeSaw here as well. And SeeSaw is kind of like a Instagram of sorts, also like a Facebook, where it can post different things, kind of this, and this cool, where it's scrolling and kind of posting as things are happening. So within art, for the student tomorrow within 5th grade, with Ms. Hutchinson, our art teacher. So she's had them do assignments here If she was going to have them submit an assignment, more than likely she would post it here, or during class say, okay, I've given you this assignment and I want you to post it to SeeSaw. So she would have them post it here. And then that way students can see other work that other students have completed within the class. There are also activities here as well. So at the current time, there's no activities for her. Again, it also has an inbox where she could send messages. So the student hasn't received any messages from Ms. Hutchinson within SeeSaw. And then there are also other students here. So if I clicked on the other students, if I was that student, I'd have access to it. But I don't, because I'm Gary Brown in this class. And then also if I click on the option where it gave his name, there are other classes here. So again, for Mr. Gahn, he's posted 3 different things. He's had students post and then again posted for different things. So some of these might be later in date, but it's just kind of up to the discretion of the teacher of what they're using and if they're using all of these. The great thing about, I guess, virtual learning this year is that the district has provided these resources for us for it to be virtual. So the teachers have the kind of discretion of what they're using and at different times what they're using within classes. So we understand it's kind of confusing with all the different programs, but they are using the programs to the full capabilities and trying to get the most out of virtual learning while we're in virtual learning. So that kind of just goes through SeeSaw. If the student wanted to add something, they can click on this green add button and it gives them options here to add a photo, to add a drawing. So like we looked in Miss Hutchinson's, that student used drawing. They could create a video. They could upload photos, files, and videos. They could take notes. So like they were posting something, maybe Miss Hutchinson had them look outside and see what the weather was outside for an art project. They could type notes on observations they made of what was happening outside. So maybe it was snowing, maybe they saw birds, maybe they saw squirrels, whatever they see, they could type that in a note form. And they could also find a link. So maybe if Miss Hutchinson had them use that same example with looking outside, they could find a YouTube video, click on the link, embed it, and then it would post it to SeeSaw and show that video so that all the other students in class, including the teacher, can find that. So it's a really great resource here as well. And it uses a lot of different modalities within the virtual realm. So that's kind of SeeSaw in a nutshell. So we'll click out of that. We're going to continue on to now Ed. So Ed is where the textbooks are located for into math and into reading. So we're going to click on Ed. And sometimes, as it has done now, it will prompt the student to put in their email address. So I have 2 different accounts here for my personal email address, but I want to sign in as the student. So I'm going to click other, and then I'm going to back all of this up so I can put the student's email address in. And like I said, at the beginning of the presentation or in the presentation, it's the student's first name and last name, or first name dot last name at cmsdk12.org. And I'm going to hit next. And then it will prompt you and the same username that the same password that you used with your username is the same username for this. So add that student's password. And then this is Ed. So this is kind of the dashboard for Ed and within the textbooks. So students can, again, there are some assignments that students might be taking part in within the textbook here. So again, there's some assignments here for Miss Jordan. She had 2 assignments here that were due on January 12th. So for that student to complete that, they can hit continue. And it says if you complete this Ed test math, you won't complete one in SeeSaw. So again, like we said in SeeSaw, Miss Jordan put it in 2 different places. She put it in Ed, and she also put it in SeeSaw. So if the student clicks on it here, again, they're not gonna be able to do it in SeeSaw. And for time, or for the amount, I don't wanna mess up the students because they haven't submitted it. So I'm gonna move on over to Discover, where it now shows us the textbook. So within the textbook, again, like I said, into math, which is the student's textbooks for math. And if I click this little arrow, it gives a drop down for into reading, which is the reading. So if I click on those 2, I can find different. So as you notice here within Ed, there are different modules that the students are going throughout the school year. And then to access those modules, so if they want to access module 1, they would click on module 1 and it will take them to that page within Ed. So as the teacher's working with the school books or the students' textbooks, they will work through, and then it kind of goes based on page number. So the teacher will be able to say, we're on this page, and then the students will be able to find them. Also on the side here, as you're in the textbook, it gives a table of contents. So also again, there's all the table of contents are here as well. So maybe your student is working on government must fund inventors. I can click on that and it will take me right to that page. Also, maybe if the teacher posted in ed or posted in SeeSaw that the students were working on page 72, I can type in 72, hit go, and it'll take me right to that page, which is goodbye from below. So again, that's a great resource here as well that can take students directly right to it and right to the page that they're working on. So again, all the resources are here as well within the textbooks. And then to just get rid of that, you just click it and it pops away. There are options to play audio. The students can take notes directly within the textbook here. There's some other options here as well. As the audio, they can read along with highlights. They can zoom in and zoom out on the text, which is a great feature. So that's kind of just the nuts and bolts of the textbook itself. They can also bookmark by hitting the bookmark page. It will bookmark it as well. And then if I can leave that page up. So say the students are working on this page and they have an assignment over here, I can just click back and go back into the original ed page. And then within that, I can go from the dashboard to discover for the textbooks. I can also find some other resources here that teachers might be having the students use. And they vary from different grade levels. So 6, 7, 8 might have some more resources here necessarily in 5th grade. And then for the assignments, the students can click here on the assignments tab. It gives the assignments that are due, so to do. So this student has 4 assignments that are to do. It shows you how many assignments that are overdue. So the student has 4 assignments that are overdue, and then it gives you how many assignments have been done. So the student has had 16 that are done. And then again from here, if I go within this, I can hit open, and it'll bring me into that page and populate what the resource was and what they're working on. So again, in here, for Ms. Jordan, she was having them within this problem, solve reasonableness of fractions and differences. So again, the students have options here. They can add the tabs. Now, it will not let me click it because the students already completed it. But in these options here where this green check mark would be, students can type in different things. Again, like here in the expressions, they're able, Ms. Jordan would like them to write out what their problem is going to be in their solution. And then as you move on, there's different kinds of questions and kind of different features. So that's the other great thing about both into reading into math, that has different modalities and different features to kind of get the students engaged in the lessons. And I know from my coaching this morning, I did work with Ms. Jordan, and we kind of talked about this a little bit from what she was doing already today previously. So she's really enjoyed using these. I know, for instance, when I talked to Ms. Jordan today, some of the students on iPads had difficulty, and I'm working through it. I'm trying to find a solution for us that within the iPads, as I click on these and drop them here, it was not letting students do it on the iPad. And it seems to my understanding that the reason it's not letting us do that is because you can't click or drag. You can drag and click, but it will not populate it into this where it says drop here option. And if you try to use both fingers, it recognizes the other finger that you're holding the space for, and it won't, so that it doesn't scroll. And that's kind of an issue. So I'm working through that. I'm trying to see if I can find a solution for that, but that is an option we've had. We have not had any or have any instances with it happening with the laptop. So again, if a student makes a mistake and like I did that, the student can complete that. I click this. So more than likely the student can complete it because I know for this student in particular, they were having difficulty with it on the iPad. So again, with that, Ms. Jordan was aware of that, was understanding of that, and didn't mark the student down because they weren't able to complete that. So if it's out of their control, many of our teachers think it's understanding and reasonable with the technology difficulties at that point. So I'll try to, I might do my best to get that resolution for us. But as well as you can see, there's different options and different kind of styles of how Into Math and Into Reading is assessing the students within the classes. And then once that student submits it automatically to a teacher, they can review it and grade it. So that's just kind of a breakdown of kind of how the assignments are. Again, if I go to the scores here, it kind of gives the scores of what the students are completing and kind of going from there. So that's kind of how Ed is. Again, if I go to Discover, again with this tab here, so I was in reading. If I want to go to math, I can go here and then find the math textbook as well. So again, and also the assignments, like you noticed the assignment was in math. It could be an assignment in reading, it could be an assignment in math, but they're all posted here for the students to refer to and then to complete. So that's Ed. And that's all of the resources, at least for Clever. The other option that we can talk about as well as is Zoom. So many of the apps, at least on the iPads, have a Zoom app located in them. For Zoom as well, you can go to zoom.us and click into that. You can also, then you can go to join a meeting, and you would add that student, your teacher's ID into there, hit join, add their passcode, which is 838-1750 for all of the classes at Wade Park, hit join, and then it will take you to that Zoom session for your teacher, for your child's teacher. So Zoom's another resource. On the iPads, it's a little different because there's an app associated to that, but you can do the same thing. It brings up the same kind of prompts. You join a meeting, type that meeting ID in, and then go for the passcode as well, and it lets them in. Okay, are there any questions on, I'm gonna stop sharing just for a second. Are there any questions on any of the apps that I've talked about in Clever so far?
Great.
Yeah, that's a good thing to hear. So again, like I said, Dr. Buddy will post this presentation as well. So if you do need or have any questions, you can refer back to it. I'm going to share my screen again. And we're at now for NWEA testing. So we're going to be, students will be completing NWEA testing the week of January 26th to the 29th. In order for students to take part in the NWEA testing, they need to use Google Chrome browser.
So Kern, that runs, it starts the 26th, but it runs until February 26th.
Okay, so we have a month.
Yep.
We're starting that week, correct? That's why I just want to emphasize that.
But yeah, it does start on the 26th, but based on the teacher schedule. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. And then for the NWEA testing, students have to use Google Chrome browser. So many of the laptops already have Google Chrome downloaded on them. I know for a fact that all of the iPads have them on them. And I know from our testing at the beginning of the year, students had to use the Google Chrome as well. So the big thing I want to talk about tonight is, and I'm going to stop sharing 1 second and kind of go to the web browser, is showing you how to disable the pop-up blockers on Google Chrome. So I'm using Google Chrome as my browser here on my personal laptop. So it's the exact same to use on the district laptops and the iPad. So to disable the pop-up blocker, and I have the descriptions also there in my PowerPoint, are to go to the three dots in the top right-hand corner and click. You will then from there scroll down to settings, click on settings. Within settings on the left-hand side there's a privacy and security tab. So you'll click on that. And then you'll scroll down here to the option where it has you, let's see, site controls. And then from site settings, you're going to scroll down here to pop-up blocker and redirects. Click on there. And then it is already recommended that they are blocked. To disable that, you just toggle this tab from gray until blue, and now it changed from block to allow. So as we're getting into NWEA, it has to have a secure browser, they call it. So with the pop-up blockers being blocked, it will not allow that secure browser to open. And then to get to NWEA, you can just go to Google. You can type in NWEA student login. It already populates for you. You can hit enter. And then you're going to click on the first tab where it says NWEA test session login. And as you see, that brings that gray website up, that it's going through the pop-ups to make sure that they're disabled. So again, like I said, it's a secure browser. And then once it goes through that process, it will show you how to use the session ID. So the teacher will provide that for your scholar by putting their session ID in, the session password. They will hit the blue icon. And then from there, it will have them prompt and find the test that they're taking, regardless if it's reading, math, or whatever subject area. They'll click on that. They'll find their name, and then they'll hit submit. It'll send that information to the teacher, and then the teacher will let them in to the testing portal. So that's kind of on the teacher end. The teachers will go through that with the scholars as they're working through it, or beforehand. There's a script that they have to read as part of the testing process, so they will go through those directions explicitly. And just for understanding, I want to just show the difference. If that pop-up blocker, since it was allowed, if for some reason, if I disable the pop-up blocker and it does not allow it, this is the message that you will see. It will say, oops, where's my test window? And then it gives you these 3 reasons of why. Reason number 1 is a pop-up blocker is blocking the test window. And 9 times out of 10, that's the issue we normally have. I know we had a lot of that issue in the spring, or sorry, in the fall, because we were just kind of getting through that process of having people do it virtually at their houses, and versus going to school and having it on the school laptop or school laptops or school desktop computers that we normally have. So again, this is the first thing. So if it comes up like this, you need to disable the pop-up blocker. And from there, then you can just go back, again, the back button to here to the session ID. It'll go through the system again and bring up that secure window. And then once you're in a secure window, that's where you need to be. So again, those directions are here. And then I also posted them here as well. So again, teacher will provide the session name and then the password. And it just depends on most times they populate automatically for the teacher. So they just grab the one that has them with that test. They'll provide that to the scholar. They type that in, hit the blue arrow. It'll take them to that test, and then they'll give them directions from there. Any questions about NWEA and using Google Chrome? And if your scholar has an iPad in 5th through 8th grade, it's the same exact features. You go to the Google web page, hit the 3 dots, then go down to settings, hit content settings, disable pop-up blocker, and it's the same process. Any questions?
And definitely, as Mr. Kern shared, we will post a presentation. So definitely, if you need to refer back to anything he went through, we'll definitely have it. Mr. Kern, you want to check the YouTube page so I can see?
Yes. Yep. So I also have in my PowerPoint as well, in case you forget or you need some reference. We post a lot of videos to the school YouTube page. So you just YouTube search Wade Park, and I'll pull that up for us. So you can also go to Google. You can just type in YouTube, it'll populate. And then within the search bar, you can just type in Wade Park, K-8. And then right here is the channel that we have. So if you hit that, you can also subscribe to it. So that way you get notifications on videos we're posting. And then here's our home. The newer videos will be posted here. Also the videos all the videos are posted here within the video tab. So you can scroll down. I know, for instance, I've done some Kern's corners on how some stuff with the iPads of how to do some different features and such. The one that I really want to hone in on is the one that we scrolled down here to the workshop from September 24th. So Dr. Buddy and I did a similar workshop like we did with the iPad specifically. So if you're a scholar who's working on the iPads, we also go through all of the other apps as well, like Clever and everything we've gone through tonight. So like I said, that's for the iPads. Dr. Buddy, we'll post this again to the website here at YouTube for you to refer for tonight, for specifically the laptops, and then any other questions moving forward. I also have, and I will post out and my YouTube, or sorry, my Instagram, and from Wade Park as well. We have Instagram as well. So a lot of the stuff I'm posting, if I do a new post or a new video, I'm posting that to my Instagram so that you can see there's a notification there. And then I post it to the YouTube page. Dr. Buddy does a great job of, if I send it from my my work Instagram, I'm sending that to that. He'll just share it on his story. So you can find it from there, and then just notify that if there's a new post there for a new video, this is where you can find it.
Two other things I definitely want to highlight, big pickup day on January 29th. So please look for that. Big pickup day on January 29th. We'll have supplies for the science fair, STEM day, life school. If your child cashed out, used their points for any toys, materials for Literacy Month. So January 29th from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. And last thing would just be continue to remind your child to complete their iReady. They do receive grades for that each week. The quarter ends on next Friday, January 22nd.
And Dr. Buddy, to add as well, within Clever as well, iReady is also located within there, so I can show that real quick. So within, again, going back to Clever, within the portal, it's right here. It's the one with the three sides on the three colors on the box. You can click on iReady, and then we'll take that to the website. They have the option to do reading or math, and then if you click on that, it will have them telling them what their path is. For instance, say if you were reading, then it's time to switch, especially on the Wednesday, they're working from reading to math. You can just click and it goes seamlessly back and forth between both reading and math and what they're working on. To do the next lesson, they would click on the next lesson. They're doing closed reading for the student. They can check their progress. They can find their rewards that they've earned, as well as their points that they've accumulated up here. So again, that's within Clever. Like I said, also, all the core curriculum, everything that we're using this school year from the district perspective is here. And again, if you make them, you heart them, it will take them and add them up here to the favorited resources, just for you to be to get to a little easier.
Cool. Ms. Townsend, Ms. Powers, do you guys have any announcements or reminders before we close the session?
Thank you, parents, for attending our Kern's Corner session. Thank you, Mr. Kern, for providing this. Actually, this answered a few questions that I have. I also just do want to say, parents, please make sure that you are reading Dr. Buddy's weekly email that is being sent out. It always has important information that you may need for the upcoming week. Again, as always, please make sure that you are checking our social media pages on a daily basis in case we have teachers who are out or we have situations that we would like to inform our parents about in a timely manner. Again, thank you for attending our Mr. Kern's Corner this evening.
Yes, thank you very much. And I appreciate you mentioning the science fair. Just want to have all parents please work with their children if they are in grades 4 through 8 on their science fair project.
All right, well, that's all we got this evening. Once again, thank you, Mr. Kern, and parents, have a great evening.